I call this Hermosa Town Board Friday, January 26, 2024 special meeting to order at 9:02. Roll call. Ferguson.
Here.
Hendrickson. Absent. Hallsworth.
Here.
Kramer.
Here.
Stiles. Here. Thank you for the public for attending. Thank you, Gail, for being here. Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Second item on the agenda is call for changes. Please review the current agenda items. And
Sorry.
I request a motion to accept the agenda as presented / amended.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Linda, seconded by Dan. Any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries. Conflict of interest declaration. Everybody knows that, you know, if it's a conflict for them, just please refrain from discussing and talking. The special item on the agenda today is approval for the BOT president to send letter to South Dakota DNR Secretary Roberts to renegotiate compliance dates on the settlement agreement. I request a motion for approval of the president to send a letter to South Dakota DNR Secretary Roberts in reference to renegotiating the compliance dates on the settlement agreement. Do I have a motion?
So moved for discussion.
Moved by Dan,
I'll second it.
second by Linda. I'll start discussion on it. I was contacted the day before, was it yesterday? Yeah, I was contacted yesterday morning by Kyle from DANR, and they said that they would be open to negotiating and looking at the dates on the settlement agreement. His comment was to the gist of, you know, you guys are, you know, we're not there to bankrupt the community. We're there to ensure that the environment is taken care of. We see now that the town is doing what they need to do and they're being proactive, and they're willing to look at that and then discuss the fines and things. So at this point in time, they said that for us to get it started, we needed to send a letter. That's why we have the meeting. Any further discussion? Dan?
I think too, as with the previous board, when we had that meeting with Tina, and the tape is here about that with Kent and us, and discussed all of this situation, that we brought it up on each point that they would bring forward on this situation, that we were no way ever going to meet them deadlines, and that's why we asked for the extension and their forgiveness on the whole circumstance when we went through it. And that day we were, I feel fully led that we were going to have an extension, and they understood where we were at and that we were trying to meet the compliances, but every change was due to them, not due to aspects of poor engineering or poor aspects of the board or poor any other else aspects. So that's where we went with it, non-left on that. And we felt that if we'd have been notified sooner, we could have put a plan together and had things to them. Every aspect that the state, I feel, has brought forward to us has been after the fact, and there's a situation there where I feel definitely that we could have made more compliances and better addresses on the whole situation. So I think that in the circumstances of this, that we would like to ask for their forgiveness from the fines all the way to the beginning, not just for after the aspect, because I don't feel there was total fault on our side. I feel the state misled us in circumstances too, on both of them. And if Linda remembers in that conversation, it was pretty clear and pretty broad and pretty understood of circumstances. It wasn't only their findings, it was also construction schedules to where we were at in the meeting of where they were at on the small things that they were bringing out at that time.
Let's go ahead and wrap up your conversation. It's coming up on 3 minutes.
So I feel that strongly.
Okay. I think what we need to, all that's gonna come up in discussion, you know, the past fines and the present fines,
In their discussion.
and when we meet with
Okay.
them, that's gonna come up. One thing that we need to be very clear on is that there was issues where it was within the engineer's realm to have done the correct things. As far as, and they made this statement in their letter to us in reference to the sampling. This, when you design a project, you start with up front. If you're gonna design a treatment process to handle something, you need to know what the inflow into that treatment system is, so you know what you have to do to it. The data analysis was never done until January. Another thing is it was clear that in the requirements, state requirements, that you needed to do the geophysical stuff up front. That needed to be there. The whole FEMA process should have been started as soon as they had and none of that was done. So we will not be going to the state and saying it was their problem, because that's not gonna get us nowhere. So, you'll go ahead, Linda.
I unfortunately agree with that. I just don't think that bringing up the bad that they did wrong or that none of that
We're
will
moving
help.
forward.
That will not help. Nobody likes being called out on the things they've done wrong, and the state probably more than anybody. But I just think that we need to just be thankful that they are willing to discuss it now and take it as far as we can now to get the fines down, to get the time, you know, extended, whatever we can do. And, it will benefit the town greatly, you know, if we can get any of it, and hopefully all of it, you know, taken away or denied or whatever you wanna call it, so. That's my feeling. I don't know.
Go ahead, Dan.
And I'm not saying that we go back at the state and say, by God, you did this wrong. We know where the circumstances were. I'm just saying, we have a tape and we have a discussion on it, and I understand where the circumstances are, and I appreciate that they're willing to hear it and that they're willing to forgive this. But
Yeah.
another question I had, how come Claycomb isn't doing the LOMA instead of KLJ? Since he's our floodplain administrator.
The reason we did that was because right at the same time that this was identified as needed to be done, at that same time, Elmer had a contract with Headwaters to do everything we needed to do to get ready for our FEMA Go grant. And he was too busy, and his comment was to us, and Linda was in the
Yeah,
meeting,
that's right, I remember.
which one's
now.
the higher priority? Well, they're both a higher priority. That's why we went with them.
But he had already started the Headwaters
Headwaters.
thing,
Yeah.
so we just.
Because he
yeah,
would have been so much more affordable, is why I say,
Oh,
and
yeah.
his expertise too.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
with
it's
the
his
area,
forte, yeah.
with the area too, so, but yeah, he did not
But-
have time, I
But
remember
I
that
did want
now.
that understood, that I don't feel we need to go back and point the finger and hit him in the chest and say, you know, by God, this is part of your fault. That isn't where I'm going, I'm
You were just
saying.
making a point.
Correct,
Yeah.
that there was other aspects, outside entities, and that we very clearly worked our butts off to negotiate this and keep it properly going directions, and felt we were.
Yeah.
We met every standard that they ever wanted as we went through it.
Dan, I'll have the floor. I'll just have to disagree with you on that. The general engineering practices should have been followed, and they would not followed. And Linda agreed with that. And, so that's where we're setting on that. We're not going back to look at it. We're not gonna place blame. In order for us to move forward, we need to know where we're at and what we're doing. And the fact that we did go out and get another engineering firm that has a very good rapport with the state, and that we are making headway, and we're trying to dot all of our T's and our I's, and not just put something out there. So I guess we'll just disagree to disagree on that, Dan, but we will not in any way, shape, or form accuse the state of not doing what they needed to be done when we, as a town, didn't provide what should have been done in the design package, and that the design didn't go the way it was supposed to. You know, we don't, I just don't want to go any further into that, so. I've had my twos, you had your two, go ahead, do you have another?
I was just gonna say the letter is well written, I think, and it looks good to me. I think that, I think we're lucky and that moving forward is, yeah, there's a go, yeah, definitely.
And, did you have any?
I agree, we need to move forward. I see this as a step of moving forward, and hopefully we can get some of the fines knocked down, so like he said, he doesn't want to break the town.
But. Okay, if no further discussion, the motion was made and seconded to approve the town board president to send a letter to South Dakota DNR Secretary Roberts to renegotiate compliance dates on the settlement agreement. We had discussion. With no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries. Items from citizens.
It's an excellent meeting. It's nice to see some of the fines go down because the same residents are still having it on their backs to pay all these fines, and it's something I feel the engineer needs to be paying because it's kind of her fault that we're tallying them up. But it'd be nice to get that to stop.
Okay. Thank you for your input. Trustee input, Dan?
I had a bunch more, but I'm just gonna leave it alone. Thank you.
I would like to say thanks to Jerry for going out and finding us the engineer, and so that we can move forward on this mess that we're in right now and save the town and the citizens money.
Linda?
I have nothing, it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
You're not thinking too good this morning?
No, actually, I'm thinking quite well, I think, but it's still 9 o'clock in the morning.
And I would just like to, as the board president, I just want to say a special thanks to the board members. I know that everybody has their own jobs that they had to walk away from. Me, I had to get up a little bit earlier than normally I might. I just want to thank the commitment from the board for coming out. This is a very high item on citizen concerns, and I just want to thank the board for coming forward and working with this.
Jerry, if I may, one more item to ask you a question on. On the lagoon pumping, too, something that I always wanted to bring up to Kyle. That, you know, for 20 plus many years, we've been allowed to land apply, and none of these rules ever came into aspect, so we should have been grandfathered in. I think that too should have been an aspect that was brought out, that all these other years until we had some pushbacks from whether it's social media or one resident down there have also harmed us greatly. And I feel on the land that we've applied the waters on and where we were at with the proper testing, that would be allowed to save us mega bucks too and help us not only in the fines but in the other. I get it, but why all these years and then all of a sudden implementation?
One of the things is, and I guess Dan and on that is, just because we don't know what the rules are, doesn't mean we can't be held accountable for them. That criteria was there all those years, but it never was really brought to the surface until the public bring it to the surface. And the public has a right to do that, and we respect their right to do that.
Oh, yeah.
It was identified, and then when they looked at the rules and regulations, yes, we needed to be that quarter mile away. And then once we as the board knew that we had to be a quarter mile away, we could not go forward and violate that. And the state, after it was brought in front of them, they couldn't tell us we could do it. So it was identified, it was brought to the board's attention. The board, like you say, you didn't know that there was that quarter mile deal. It never was raised before. When it was brought up, that's what the rules are and that's what the laws are. And if just because we were not doing it right in the past, mainly because it was never identified and it never came to light, doesn't mean we can continue to do it into the future, so.
Well, I'm
Yep.
saying that though, but
Yep.
the state also, they're the ones that have,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
it's,
allowed to.
but
so.
it's our responsibility to know our permit and know what the requirements are on it, and not their responsibility to tell us all that. But anyway, we'll let Linda have.
Well, I would just comment on that. I think times have changed so much. People are more
Health conscious.
aware of what's going on, and some people are very aware of things,
Yeah.
you know,
But
and
Politely put.
things,
no,
yeah.
excuse me, but let's don't go that way. You know,
But
when the
yes, it is an unfortunate situation. It worked very well for us for many years, and that we can be thankful that we could use it that way for many years. Now, unfortunately, we cannot, and so we're into that expense also because of it. And I don't know.
But
it
that
is
is
unfortunate.
no way can be appointed back.
Yeah, no, I'm just
And
saying.
Vince, we had more conversation after technical input. We'll let citizens have more
I
input.
just had one more. I think if you put your shoes on their feet and you lived right there, would you like that in your backyard? And there are people with wells, and it was like literally going 20 foot from their well. It's a big concern. I think the citizens have a right. I wouldn't want it in my backyard. I can smell it from my house and don't always like it. I certainly wouldn't want it right across the fence.
Okay, so
On that note, can I make a motion to adjourn at 9:18?
Second.
motion made by Linda and seconded by Dan to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same.